kid. Oh, god damn it. Shit, sorry. On either. Motherfucker. Anyway, there we go. Hi. Welcome to the Child of Mecha live stream. I'm your host, Tim, the one and only Child of Mecha. Sorry, I was dicking around here right before we started because the universal chat wasn't working, but now it seems to be working. What the hell? What the hell? I don't know. I don't know. But it sounds like it looks like it's working. Yeah. Okay. Fuck it. It's working. Look, we're looking good. We're looking good. Anyway. Oh, man. Anyway, you guys. What a challenging night. My dinner got all fucked up. Don't you hate that? When your dinner gets all fucked up? And it just puts you in a pissed off mood. That's kind of how I am, but I'll get over it. I'll be fine. I made a rice bowl for myself. And I usually come out really good. Really good. Some nice rice with some, spices, a little oil, a little really good shit. And then some queso on top of that, and then some seasoned chicken, and some avocado, fresh salsa, some cotija, some extra tahini on top of that. Little hot sauce if I'm feeling squirrely. Man, this shit. The chicken and the rice came out just bland. I don't know what's up with that. The avocados have been in my fridge for a week. And honestly, I thought they'd be rotten by now. But I took them out, chopped them up, blah, blah, blah. The one thing, it was not even ripe yet. It was like still hard as a rock on the inside. Like it had, that kind of nice, when you go to get avocados and you push in and it's got the little cushion for the pushing, you know what I'm saying? And it had that. But on the inside, I couldn't even cut it. It was like fibrous and rock hard. It was nasty. So pissed me off, man. It was very mid dinner. And I started late, and I didn't finish until like 5 minutes before the stream too. So it's just like, what are you gonna do? Anyway, that's enough me ranting about dinner. You guys, welcome. It's Monday. That's another thing, Monday. But we're here. We're back, all up in it to win it. We're gonna jump back into this Hyaku Shiki build. I think we're gonna start with something new on this. I think we might start on the backpack, a little backy-packy work. I was working, duplicating parts over the weekend, specifically the feet and all the details that go along with those and everything. So, yeah, it's a lot. Anyway, so we're going to jump on that here in a moment. Don't forget when you're on the internet, you always have to pick up some... You know what I mean? There we go. And also, too, the Child of Mecha Store is open, you guys. The Child of Mecha Store is open. A ton of cool shit. And I'm going to be adding more. There's a lot of insignia to go around. I have Bill's 13th, what is it? The Dom unit. I forget what it's called. But I got that to do. I got some other insignia to do. One person on Instagram wanted some F91 stuff, so add that to the list. Yeah. Oh, and also, I'm going to add... I'm going to add this guy. I'm going to add this up there as a print right here, so you can enjoy our friend Terry's artwork, which is absolutely amazing. Always loved, his stickers and his artwork and everything. And I actually have a few pieces from Terry. And I was fortunate enough to actually meet Terry in person at one of my classes here that happened in Maryland many moons ago. And very, very nice guy. Just salt of the earth. Couldn't have asked for a nicer person. But very talented too. In many ways a Renaissance man. Because he he does like music and stuff like that. He's done he was like one of the musicians for the Blue Man Group, stuff like that. And he's been all over the world with them, and just has done a lot of shit. So he gave me permission to add that to the store back in the day. So we're gonna finally get it up to the store. And if you want to purchase a nice little print, you absolutely can at that point. So go check out the store if you can, and go support, man. There's a lot of cool shit in there. A lot of cool shit. Excuse me. Alrighty, let's get caught up with the chat. Now, again, the universal chat was not working for a bit, but it seems to be working now. So I'm not going to be able to highlight some of the comments like I normally do. But Bill started us off. He says, howdy y'all. Hope everyone is having a great night. I was up until dinner. But Bill's question of the day, he posed his own. He says, if you needed a specific tool for a project, hobby, home, auto, whatever, but we're unsure if that would be the only tool you needed, and you were on a budget, would you spend the money? He said, would you spend the money to get the very best version of that one tool you know you need, or buy a set of tools that included one you need now, even though they aren't as good a quality? Well, I'll go. Yeah, I've done that plenty of times in the past. Because I'm a very kind of do-it-yourself type of person, especially around the house. Like, I do pretty much almost everything around here, except, when it comes to like complicated electrical and of course plumbing. Plumbing is just, nah, man, not gonna mess with that. Dudes study plumbing for years and years and years, and there's a reason why. I'm not fucking with it. But aside from that, I've needed miscellaneous tools here and there for different things. Like, for instance, 2-3 years ago, I had to change the latches in my car, on the two on the driver's side, because they were malfunctioning, and basically the sensor wouldn't go off, and the overhead lights wouldn't go off, and it basically sensed that the door was open when it wasn't. So I had to replace those latches. Well, I needed specific tools, like a trim removal type of thing. And honestly, that was basically a one and done for me. Like, I'm not gonna, use those tools hardly ever again. So for me, I went with the cheapest route, So honestly, for me, it depends on, how much I'm going to use said tool. You know what I mean? If it's a one and done, yeah, I'm not going to spend money to get the best tool out there. If I'm not going to use it again, you know what I mean? So I guess it really depends on the frequency of use for me. If it's something I'm going to use, yeah, probably drop a little coin and get something pretty good. So yeah, like with my power tools, I started off with Ryobi. They get a bad rap, but for DIY, home use, there's nothing wrong with them. Nothing wrong with them at all. Now the batteries are big and they're bulky and they're heavy and blah 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 and all that. Well, I within the past couple years switched up to the Milwaukee 12-volt platform, which I love, super good quality. And obviously Milwaukee tools are some of the best out there, probably right behind Festool. If you guys are familiar with power tools at all, Festool is like so insanely expensive. Like only professionals can really afford those things. You're talking like $700-800 for a circular saw. Like fuck that. No. So yeah, I mean, it depends. It depends on the frequency of use, I think, for me. So yeah. Julie says, oh man, it happened again. I thought today was Sunday. I wish. Blaze is with us. He says, Bill, I always maintain a bit once. Oh, maintain a bit once, cry once mind when it comes to all tools. So I'd get a quality one I know. Fair enough. Yeah. And then our question of the day is on the topic of guides or books. What would you benefit from the most, or what would you like to see? And it could be anything, like within the hobby. If you want to see books on like scribing or, tools or painting or what have you, or like, photo books or something like that, art books, what have you. Let me know, because I'm interested, because that's kind of going to be the next big project here coming up. So I'm interested to see what you guys, have to say, honestly. So Gary's with us. Sent a star for 2 jewels. I don't know what that means, Gary. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm so sorry, buddy. Let's see. Blaze says, for Tim's question of the day, I'd love to have more books on scratch building, even if it's just for inspiration. Hell yeah. We can do that. Yeah, scratch building, when it comes down to it, is not really that hard. It can get hard. It can get difficult. But it's not, when you really break it down and you think about it, it's all about geometry, right? It's all about geometry. Thinking about what shapes go kind of where and all of that stuff. So yeah, for me, that's really all it's about. Yeah. Bill says, shit, and I'm trying to click on the YouTube chat like it's the universal chat, and it's just fucking me up here. But we're almost down to where the universal chat picks up, so no worries there. But Bill says, continue, these streams would likely be completely lost when we talk of strapping. Ho, buddy. Hey-ho. Whoo, yes, sir. I think so. And that's, I think, where we pick up. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. And then we've got Enrico. What's going on, Enrico? Good to see you, buddy. Blaze says, I can agree with that as well. Yeah. Blaze says, Tim sounds quiet. Was that the voice of God afterwards? No, I just didn't have the frickin' mic on. What the hell? What the L? Right? Exactly, Gary. Exactly. Not the dinner. Talking about rice, you done effed up, AA Ron. Dude, right? And I don't think I put enough water into it because some of the pieces were still not cooked through all the way. Yeah. Anyway, live and learn. Charles Dodge is over there on Twitch. Mr. Greek Knockos, he says, evening. What's going on, Charles? You absolute fucking legend. Yeah, you done effed up, Timothy. Yeah, I did. Timothy. Jesus. Blaze says Mondays are always fucked. Right? Dude. Come on. Man, oh man. Bill says fruit do not ripen once cut from the plant. That is why you buy tomatoes on the vine. Getting softer is not ripening, but rather stages of spoiling. Well, I like my avocados slightly spoiled then. I don't know what to tell you. But they were still just hard as rocks inside. Like I said, they had that nice kind of push, you know, when you go to search for avocados and everything, which is always a task. And I hate wasting avocados too because they're so freaking expensive. They're like $5 for a bag of 4 or 5 of them, the little ones, the little cados as they're branded, right? Yeah. Gary says backpack boosters. Mr. Brian Lelouch, over there on the YouTubes. He says, question of the day, MSV or books just full of customs with a short highlight of the big changes done, like your Dengeki Hobby magazine or any other Japanese magazine, but in English. It's gate-kept inspiration. Honestly though, is it? Because I think with the advent of, especially AI translations, it's so much easier nowadays to, translate foreign languages and everything. I wish I had this technology back in the day just to translate shit. I'd be translating stuff all over the damn place. Let's see. Gio is with us. He says, hello, everyone. My real grade tall geese inner frame is coming along nicely. I painted the gunmetal, dark iron, and gold inner frame. Nice. I like it, Gio. I like it. Enrico says, yes, F91 gang. There we go. Blaze says, yeah, we won't talk about how I messed up my first order by just putting 145 as my whole address, no zip code or nothing, but already got it fixed. Oh, shit. Did you... Good job, Blaze. Good job, buddy. Oh, shit. Gary says, airdrop overpower. Yeah, Enrico says, hey, Gio, sounds awesome, right? It does sound awesome. Gio says, tomorrow, God willing, am painting the Hyper Silver and Electric Blue Metallic. Hey-oh. Mr. Edwin RSA. What's going on, Edwin? Good to see you, buddy. He says, good morning. Hello, everyone. Watch the stream 76, and now I understand. Now I want to test it if the password still works on Tim. Hey, Tim. Plot plate. Edwin. My boy. He said a naughty word, you guys. Edwin, this is gonna hurt you more than it hurts me, buddy. Stop it! Stop that shit! Wow, that actually shook the camera. Oh my gosh. Gary says plot plate will still work. Yeah, right. Brian says, Brian's question of the day, is it styrene or plot plate? Yeah, right. Jesus. Let's see here. Blaze says drain plumbing is harder because you need the fall rate, but plumbing for your live lines is pretty easy, especially if you're replacing existing or you use PEX. Oh, hell no. This place is too old for PEX. I wish. PEX is easy compared to this shit. Nah, this is still all PVC and copper in here, and I don't want to dick with it. I just don't know what I'm doing. A lot, with a lot of things. Like, I can change, and clean P-traps. I can, replace, faucets, things like that. But when it comes to, like, replacing toilets and all that garbage and all. No, I'm gonna pay the professionals for that. Yeah, I'm not gonna mess with it. Not gonna mess with it. Let's see. Gio says, you mean you needed to replace those noches? Heyo. Buenos noches. There we go. Kelvin, Mr. Kelvin Branham, he is working on converting a 1/44th big gun to a 1/100th scale big gun. So he's scaling it up. Looks awesome, by the way, Kelvin. He's been posting some pictures in the community. He's been nice enough to do that, and I kind of love it. But he says, just a simple hello. Nah, let's dance. Put on the red shoes and dance with Tim. Jesus Christ. Oh, Kelvin, you're gonna. It's over most of this audience, buddy. Mike says, hello, everyone. Mikey Dawson. Kelvin says, oh yeah, Festool's my dream tools as well. Oh my God, right? I mean, come on. The Domino? It's a no-brainer, right? Everybody wants a Domino. Shit. But for $1,200? No, sir. No, sir. I will still cut my little biscuits, and I'll be happy with that. Won't be as good, but it'll be good enough. Let's see. Blaze says, by the way, my answer to Bill wasn't supposed to be bit once. It was supposed to say buy once, cry once. I got you. Enrico says, buenos noches. Happy to catch an evening stream. Always happy to have you, Enrico. Absolutely. Mr. Big Terp, he says, I could use a simple weathering book. Most of the guides I've seen quickly become too complicated and use esoteric products. Something that shows the difference of washes versus powder versus markers. Simple, effective weathering. That's actually really a good idea. Now that I think about it. Yeah. That's actually a really good idea. I might have to put that one in the list there, Big Terp. I mean, because you guys see how I weather. I don't go crazy, right? I mean, you've seen Airdrop, you've seen Ozzy, you know, you'll see the Quell here hopefully soon. They're all kind of the same flavor of weathering. I just use the Tamiya powders, maybe a little bit of chipping here and there, but that's about it. Nothing crazy. So I totally get that. I do want to try, and I have some like watercolor pencils. I want to give that a try and experiment with those. Not on the Shiki or anything like that, and obviously it's too late to do that on the Quell, but maybe some other things here, because I'm seeing really great effects with some of the watercolor pencils that look really, really good. So maybe, yeah, maybe we'll see that. Tim, missed the first part of your answer. Oh, for your question of the day. Like I said, basically it all comes down to the frequency of use for me. Because if it's a tool that I know I'm not going to use, you know, repeatedly, I'm going to cheap out and I'm going to get a one and done, expendable kind of, you know, one use thing, honestly. So yeah, I mean, I gave the example of having to do some repairs on my car doors a couple years ago. I had to change the latches and everything, and I needed like trim removal tools and everything, right? And you can get good ones. I just got some cheap plastic ones off of Amazon, and honestly, I don't see myself ever using them again. So I think for me, it really comes down to frequency of use. If it's something I know I'm going to use again, then I'm probably going to buy, you know, fairly good quality. And I gave like Milwaukee tools kind of as an example, right? Started off with Ryobi. Nothing wrong with that. I still have a ton of Ryobi tools. They're air blowers and stuff like that, you know, for like the leaf blowers and stuff like that, and the little shop blower. They're amazing. Awesome tools. their drill and stuff like that. Like I still use their drill and things and a whole bunch of stuff. So Ryobi is still pretty good. I know it gets a bad rap, especially with professionals, and as it should. It's not meant for them. It's meant for more casual folks like myself. But I upgraded obviously because those were heavy-ish tools, and I upgraded to a 12-volt Milwaukee platform, and I love it. Love it. Paying a little bit more, yes, but I still love it. Still love it. Oh, sorry, Bill. I just saw that you, he says, no, Tim, you missed the first part of my answer to your question. I said Gunpla Dictionary and went into why. Oh, shit, did I miss it? Shit, I'm sorry, dude. Did it not? Well, it might not have come through because we were having some issues with the stupid universal chat. Yeah, I don't see it on the universal chat. That's probably why. Sorry about that, Bill. Yeah, I mean, definition, like a glossary of topics. Yeah, I think that would be good. Because I got a bunch of them. Let's see. Mikey says, my boss told me my rate sucks, and I was thinking to myself, no sheet, my rate sucks on machines older than Sin that are held together by spit and duct tape. Oh, man. Nice. Gary says, easy. He said, hi, Uncle Tim. Oh, easy. Easy, buddy. What's going on, dude? Uncle Tim says hi. That's cool. That's cool, man. You got to get him like a bear guy there, Gary. Get him started early. Todd, Mr. Mad Havoc, he says, he's with us. He says, hello, everyone. I just popped in quickly to see how everyone was doing. He says, I hurt my left arm moving my bedroom dresser last Friday and have been in pain ever since Saturday. I was at an emergency this morning and put me on a strong pain meds, and I have to go for physio. Oh, shit. He says, so I won't be on too long. Oh, buddy. Man, it's, between, like, Apex Nerd and Todd, it's just like everybody's getting hurt. Like, what the hell? What the hell? The Plahwhip. There you go. Blaze says, y'all keep on, and we're going to desensitize him to a saving. It's there. We're already there. I'm just, like, so over it. I'm like, Let's see. Enrico says that Plah Whip should be turned into a GIF. The dramatic camera shake was 10 out of 10, right? Oh, man. Julia says, I wish I could update you all on what I'm building. But I have to put my kits aside while I work on the honeydew list. I'm building custom kit shelves for the living room out of cherry plywood. Ooh, do tell, Julius. Do tell, cherry. Nice. Money. Edwin says, I came prepared. Already wear my helmet and safety glasses. Note down, Mythbusters style forbidden password still works. Nice. Blaze says, that's fair. I work with city mains and stuff all the time, so plumbing isn't scary to me. But electricity always gets a hell no from me. Electricity is a little easier for me, in my opinion. Just as a homeowner, I've seen what water can do in terms of like damage and stuff to a home. And I just don't want to fuck that up. Like that's one thing that I just do not want to fuck up. Like electricity, with electricity, in my opinion, it's a little more forgiving as long as you kind of, I guess, overcompensate for it. And what I mean by that is using, thicker gauge wire if you than what you need, and all that. Like, you got to figure, like, I custom custom wired the photo booth right here with everything. So the lights are hardwired, and then it plugs into an outlet, and all three of them, there's 3 switches obviously on the front. You guys can't see it, but right around here there's 3 switches that control those lights. And then the spray booth, I wired that, you know, all as well, and that has lights and the fans, and they're controlled separately and everything. So yeah, electricity, it can be a pain in the ass though, especially trying to find like loose connections. Oh my god. Like, I have a light in my bedroom that has been non-functioning for probably well over a year and a half, just because I can't find the damn loose connection in the circuit. For the life of me, I just cannot find it. So it's just like, fuck it. And my for some reason, at the same time, my doorbell outside stopped working as well. And I've checked them both, and they both seem fine. And all the other runs in the circuit seem fine too. So I'm like completely at a loss. Everything's wired. I got the little tester, you know, checked all that. Nothing's wrong on the circuit. Just weird. I don't know. I'll have to go through it again at some point, and yeah. Bleh. Bill says that is what she said. Heyo! Bahat89, welcome. Good to see you. They answered the question of the day. A giant 29 volume set that has all the answers to any hobby questions, like the old Encyclopedia Britannica sets, for those of us that remember them. Look up the answer alphabetically. Holy shit, I actually had, well, my mom had a set of Encyclopedia, no, they weren't Encyclopedia Britannica, they were World Book encyclopedias. They were, you know, Encyclopedia Britannica's chief competitor. And we got, it was like 1986, something like that. Unfortunately, we don't have them anymore, but man, those would be such a time capsule, you know, looking back on them today and everything. My gosh. But yeah, a 29 volume set. I'll get to work. Mikey Dawson answered the question of the day. He says, can you put me in a section that describes the difference between plastic, styrene, and plot? He meant plot plate, but he typed in playmate. Like, what is on your mind there, bud? Oh, boy. Andrew says we used to use Menard's in-house brand tools, but we went to Harbor Freight's Milwaukee knockoff, and they work great. Oh, hell yeah. Harbor Freight, there's nothing wrong with Harbor Freight. Nothing wrong with Harbor Freight at all. I mean, you gotta, you know, pick and choose. You gotta pick and choose. But some of their stuff, really, really good. Really good. I've gotten, you know, sets of drill bits from them. I've gotten my big air compressor. Yeah, you guys can't see it because it's off camera. But it's one of those Fortress super quiet air compressors. I'm going to use that for like resin casting and stuff. Yeah, nothing wrong with Harbor Freight at all. Nothing wrong with it, especially for consumables. Holy crap, they're good. Yeah. Oh, and their clamps, their parallel clamps. I forget the name of the brand that they have, but man, I'm gonna tell you what. If you need clamps, those ugly orange and blue clamps, they are ugly as sin. The color scheme, I hate it, but they're good. You know, the trigger clamps and then the parallel bar clamps, man, those are awesome, and like a fraction of the money for, you know, that you would see in much better clamps. So yeah, really good. Gary says Milwaukee tools, my personal fave, especially car tools now. Nice. Let's see. Bill says plastic styrene is a common plastic in the hobby. Playmate is part of the Playboy brand. There you go. Play says, shame that they don't import Playmate over here. Right? Andrew says, Blaze, I'll do all electrical except for installing new breakers. I leave that up to the union board. Yeah, same. I'm not messing with the panel. I'm not fucking around with the panel. That you're asking for trouble. Char Twins is with us. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you, man. He says, what's up, guys? Bill says, I gave the example of strapping since unless you watch these streams, you likely would not understand what was being discussed. We need a Gunpla dictionary, especially for newer hobbyists. That's actually a really good idea. And I started that idea back in the day, but it never went anywhere. And I just kind of forgot about it, honestly. So, Mikey says, I got a paper cut today. Does that count for getting hurt? No. Andrew says, well, since we're on the subject of injuries, Tim, I might have to have some knee surgery again. MRI on Friday revealed tears in the meniscus on both knees. Oh, shit. That's no good. Mr. Life Death, Mr. Dallas, what's going on, buddy? He says, hey, Tim and everyone, apologies, haven't been around lately. Been super busy. Life be lifing. With kids and battling depression. Aw, man, I'm sorry about that. Love you all. And remember, Gunpla is free. Man. Bleh. Edwin answer the question of the day. He says, weathering books. From light weathering, medium weathering, and weathering. Yeah. See, I'm probably not the one for like the weathering, but like the light and maybe medium is kind of more my style, I think. Yeah. Blaze says to Andrew, I hope you don't need surgery, and if need electrical done, I make my buddy do it. He wired his blacksmith shop for 3-phase so he knows what he's doing. Holy shit, yeah, I would imagine so. Dallas says, a book on detailing and scratch building. Nice. Bill wants to know who remembers Encarta Encyclopedia. Oh, yeah, on the fucking CDs and everything, yeah. Mike Dawson, freaking autocorrect. No, it wasn't, Mike. No, it wasn't. Shut up. No, it wasn't. It was not. You meant to type in Playmate, you perv. Oh, man. Bill says, no worries, Michael. One has details changed with polystyrene, the other one with silicone. Hey-o. Lorenz, what's going on, buddy? He says, evening, fellas. Mikey Dawson says, question of the day, all jokes aside, a section to make your own airbrush stencil. I've been trying to make my own to paint a honeycomb pattern on master grade scale eyes, but no luck yet. Yeah. I think if you're trying to make your own stencil, it's a little somewhat complicated because, I mean, yeah, you can go in, with a really sharp hobby knife and cut out, thin sheet of acetate, real intricately and all of that. But But if you have or know somebody with like one of those like Cricut cutters or something like that, that might be the easier way. Just saying. Blaze says Pittsburgh is the brand of most of Harbor Freight clips. Yeah. It's not, well, for the clamps, it's not, I don't think it's Pittsburgh. Shit, it's like I said, it's their orange and blue brand, and I cannot remember for the life of me that brand, because I have a few of them out in the garage. Let me see here. Here we go. Let's see. Bremen. That's what it is. Bremen. Yeah, man, their 24-inch parallel clamp is $30. That's nothing. That's nothing. I mean, okay, perfect example. Their 48-inch parallel clamp, $38. $38. Where a company like Bessie is almost double that. And it's really good. Like, I've seen a lot of reviews on the Bremen clamps, and they get really, really good reviews. Like, really good reviews. So, yeah. It's good stuff, if you're into that. It might be 2 or 3 of us. I don't know. Swanky, he's with us. He says hello, everyone. What's going on, Swanky? Encarta is such a throwback. Yeah. Bahat, I think strapping is in volume 17. There we go. Excuse me. Question of the day. Scratch building guide for styrene sheets, rod, etc. Thank you for not saying plot plate. I had 2003, 2003's Encarta, if I recall correctly. Holy shit. Bill says, Mike, go to Staples or other office supply stores, get some overhead projector sheets, otherwise known as acetate sheets. There you go. You can make a stencil on there and reuse it. Bingo. Hobby X-Core was with us. What's going on, buddy? He says, hey, what's up? How's the stream today? Going pretty good so far. Shit, it's already 10:50. Wow, and we're still catching up with the chat and everything. Mikey says, cool. Thanks, Bill. Bremen. There you go. Thank you, Blaze. Bremen. Daytona, U.S. General? Nah, it was the Bremen. It was the I just couldn't think of the name. Bauer's their top end power tools from Harbor Freight. Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. They're not bad. Nothing to sneeze at. Definitely. Dallas says Harbor Freight tools are the shit. I bought one of the Hercules drills. It broke and they replaced it right from the store shelf and got to get the old battery. Those clamps are great. Yeah, exactly. And their return is like, I've been in there and I've seen dudes walk in and be like, hey buddy, broke, you know, and they'll just be like, oh yeah, go ahead. Just that simple. Like, holy crap. Charge Win's gotta go. I'll catch the video at 4 a.m. on my lunch. Oh man. Take care, man. Take care. Let's see. Andrew says to Dallas, the Hercules brand is the low end of their power tools by the Bauer. Oh, is it Bauer? I thought Hercules was I don't know. I don't know. Plot plate is freedom. Man. Bill says to Mike, you could also try looking up stencils for guns. I remember seeing a bunch a while back. That would be great. Loren says, oh, sorry, plot plate. Man. Sam Neill died. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that too. That was unfortunate, man. He was a good one. He was a good one. Hobby X-Core, I ordered some High Craig stuff. Just waiting for them to come in. Sweet. Mr. High Craig. Colin. Such a good dude. Dallas says, I'll give him a try. There you go. Bill has a link for us. Bill, what do we got? What do we got here? Let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, these. Oh, look at that. Okay, so a little honeycomb pattern. All right, here, let's show Mikey. Let's show Mikey. Look, right here, Mikey. Right here. You got your little honeycomb pattern. Like stained glass. I don't know what that is. But, you got some camo. You got some other weird looking stuff, but man, yeah, that honeycomb right there, that might be right up your alley, dude. 26, 27 bucks, at least on my screen. It might be different for everybody else, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, geez, look at all the different ones. Holy crap, look at this. 12, look at this. $12. $12 make you holla. Man, look at that. Look at that one on the right there. That's cool as shit. Got some more honeycomb. Got some. Look at that snake skin. Different styles. Oh man, this could actually be really cool. That's very tempting. What are the sizes of these? So basically like a sheet of paper. Okay. Okay. Yeah. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. And you can get like there's a ton of them, like massive variety. Good call, Bill. Good call, buddy. Nice. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. He says, yeah, just got to look around and make sure they are not stickers. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Nice. Well, good stuff. Good stuff there. All right. So with that being said, let me take a drink here real quick because I'm a bit thirsty. All right, there we are. So, oh, I didn't even put my phone on the thing. Let's do that. I was so busy dicking around with the universal chat before stream started. I forgot to put that up there. Anywho, let's get it. Real quick, last couple comments here. Andrew says, damn it, Tim, now I want to revisit my Tiger Stripe grunt. I can't help that, can I? Calvin says, Tim, on the community page, I have a sniper next to the big gun, made changes for better proportions for the sniper. We'll post pics later. Yeah, I saw the sniper didn't have feet either. I felt sorry for it. I was like, why doesn't it have feet? But, you know, I didn't get around to commenting or anything. But yeah, I actually saw that, Calvin. It was kind of funny to me. So, good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Kiddos, let's get started here. All right, so we've got our backpack, right? We need to do something here, especially with these the boosters on each side, right? So first things first, take those off. Now, with this, I don't know if we're gonna do too much with the main part of the backpack here. Simply because it's pretty nice right out of the gate, if I'm being honest. I may clip these guys, these little gray clips here. I may clip those off. Because those were for the clay, I think that's for the clay bazooka and something else, if I'm not mistaken, to kind of mount on there. So they're kind of redundant at this point. So I may clip those off of there, maybe add something, you know, over the top of that or something like that. I don't know. But honestly, for the main part of this is pretty well off, in my opinion. I kind of like the look of this and all, so I'm not hating this. Maybe some scribing and some, you know, some detailing and stuff like that, but for the most part, I think this is good out of the box. So we'll set this off to the back here. Now, obviously we have our boosters here. Let's see. Life Death says, I'll buy and check those out when I get ready to paint my White Tiger Goof Custom. There you go. There you go. And then Andrew says, are those boosters from the Dovin Wolf or the Silver Bullet, Tim? This, I think, was from the Dovin Wolf. Because it was a donated kit back in the day. And I don't know where the main kit is, but it's in one of the bins. I'm not going to go looking for it. But yeah, I think it's from the Dovin Wolf, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I do like them. They're such a great shape and silhouette. Just very sleek and, you know, really cool looking. I like this little dilly here, but I don't like that it moves. It just seems meh to me. Yeah. But we'll fix that. We'll fix that. And then also here, like this giant gap in there. Yeah, I'm not feeling that either. So I think what we do is, obviously this is all going to be one static piece. I don't want this to move. I want this to stay in place. This also hinges here. If I can actually get it to hinge. Yeah. That hinges there. And then these little missile pod thingies originally went in there. I'm not going to use those. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to, you know, kind of have this static as well. So I think what we do, obviously the thruster bells need to come off. right? This cowling needs to come off. We're gonna split this guy, and then this comes off here, right? So for the most part, we need to make these two pieces static, right? Which isn't going to be all that difficult, if I'm being honest. Just basically glue them in place. Little, some styrene sheet in the gaps to fill it out. Bada boom, bada bing. We're basically done for this. Now, these little guys here are definitely going to be a different story, right? Mainly because there's a lot more area, for the hinge and everything that we're going to need to kind of worry about here. Is it going to be crazy hard? Not really. Not really, if I'm being honest. Again, we'll glue it in place on one side so it's rock solid. So this all becomes a solid piece, right? And then just start gluing sheets around it and everything to kind of fill those gaps out and everything. So luckily, this hinge point is underneath the cowl here, so that gets covered up real nicely. I do like the shape of this, even though it's kind of curvy and it doesn't really match the whole rest of the aesthetic. I still like it. I still think it's really, really cool. And I think this whole front section here is just a blank slate that we can get, kind of creative with and everything. This intersection, I don't think I'm going to do too much to it, I don't believe. But we'll jump that hurdle when we get there. But yeah, I think what we do first, make these static, get those, get those filled in, fill in these gaps and everything like that, make that all look nice. And then the big thing for me is to kind of do something with this major void in here, right? It doesn't make any frickin' sense, this whole empty space in here, right? So what I think we'll do is maybe find some little thrusters or vents or something like that to put back here, and build out a block that we can just pop in here, and it would kind of fill that in nicely. Obviously this will be static, the thrusters will go out of there and everything, so that'll look, I think, pretty good. Yeah, so that's kind of the plan. So let's get to it. Let's get caught up just real quick one more time, and then we're gonna get to work. Yeah. Julie says, is that a Gelgoog backpack? It is not. It's actually the OG stock Hyaku Shiki 2.0 backpack. The master grade Hyaku Shiki 2.0. That's what this is. That's what this is. Let's see. The backpack itself is the basic Hyaku Shiki, yeah. Todd was looking at the Elysius Gundam. It is huge for a 1/44 scale. Thinking of getting it soon. It looks pretty damn cool, I'm not gonna lie. It looks awesome. Julie says, thanks, Bill. No problem. Bill says, Tim, are you going to put some vents on the front of the cowling to emulate the vents on the legs of the Shiki? You mean like on the front here? Right, like right there? If you're talking about right here, probably not, because I like the look of this. It's very sleek, very fast looking. It's just kind of very aggressive. It's almost like a dart, if you will, just kind of like a pew, right? Barbecue sauce. Anyway, But yeah, I kind of like the stock look of this. Now, obviously, yeah, we need to address this and detailing and stuff and all of that. But aside from that, I don't think the shape is going to change all that much. Yeah, I kind of dig it. Kind of dig it. Let's see. Julia says, what about adding some propellant tanks to the open space on the boosters? It's actually kind of an interesting idea. I'm not gonna lie. It's actually a really interesting idea. Mainly because I'm looking at some of these wave tanks up here. Hang on. Let me pull these down here. Come here, you. Yeah, I think like these right here, right? Wouldn't be bad. The main problem is would they fit? I don't know. It might be tight. Might be tight fit. So as you can see, I used all of the really small ones here. I forget what I used them for, but who knows. But honestly, I could always make my own if I really wanted to. It's actually not a bad idea. Let me see something here. So, okay. It's actually, ooh, that's actually not bad there, right there. Because the thing is, this opening tapers. It's wider up here than it is down here, right? So you get down to right about there, almost to the bottom, and that's kind of where it gets super, super tight. But above that, it actually might not be a bad idea. Let's see something here. So what if maybe raise this up a bit, kind of put a pair of them and maybe stagger them like that almost, right? Here, let me kind of show you what I mean. Almost, kind of it's fucking hard to show you while I'm holding it, right? But kind of like that. Might not be bad. Or just straight out of the back. Could be fine. I could always kind of remove that bit there. Something like that. It's actually not bad. I'm not gonna lie. It's actually not bad at all. Kind of like that, right? See how, especially how they're staggered. I kind of like it. I kind of like it now that Julius mentioned it. It almost reminds me of, if you know the bird, like a kingfisher. Yeah. So, hang on. I'll show you. Yeah, look at this. So look at the shape of the head, right? That kind of looks like what this looks like a little bit. You know, the beak and the very sharp, sleek head and everything. Huh. I kind of dig it. I kind of dig it. Go back to camera 2 here. Bill says maybe continue the staggering following the angle of the movable piece. Yeah, I was kind of, you know, because this is the top. This is the, you know, the outside of the piece. You meant like stagger like this one more, like out a bit more like that. If I could. Come on, you motherfucker. Like that, right? Yeah. Yeah, I could get down with that. I could get down with that. I kind of like the look of it. I do. Andrew says Tim's going to build a Kingfisher Shiki now to rival his Hummingbird. I mean, the king, like, honestly, the name Kingfisher is a cool name, you know? So there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. You know, the more and more that I think about this, the more it's growing on me. I'll be honest with you. The more it's growing on me. It really, really is. Now, let me see something here. It's a little too wide. Okay. What's the width on these? Let's see. These are about 6 millimeter in diameter. Yeah, 6 mil in diameter. Okay. 6 millimeters in diameter. Okie dokie. So 6.3. Here we are. All right, let's see something then. Let's see something here. Because what I'm thinking, I could drill holes right into that piece and pop these in there. Okay. Julius, you may be onto something here, bud. You may be onto something here, bud. Do I want them longer than that, though? I don't think that I do. All right, fuck it. Let's go with it. Let's run with it. I like, you know what? I'm sitting here and I'm contemplating reasons for me not to do it rather than reasons for me to do it. And at this point, it's like, just do it. Just fucking do it. All right, so first things first, let's get these cut off of here. Boom. Now, I'm not going to use the rounded end caps. I just don't like the look of those. I just never Never have. Never really have. So we'll use some Kotobukiya angled bits here for this. All right, and let me get this other. Come here, you. Get back on there. There we go. All right. So we need 2 for each side. Good thing I have 2. Good thing I have 2 sets. Jesus. Fucking Dymo tape is all hanging on to the nippers here. All right, so there's that. And then, like I said, I will use Kotobukiya parts for the end caps. Come on now, there we go. And let's see. Yeah, something like these guys right here, the flat, kind of the beveled ones. Really, really like those. Those are a good look. So I think that's what we'll end up going with. Now, question is, do we have to do any modifications, or are these just going to, fuck, yeah. See how how the bigger ones are open, but the 6mm are not. So we're gonna end up having to take this bit off here and apply that when we get there. So I'll just set those off to the side. We'll worry about that at a later date. All right, so let's get these guys glued up first. That's obviously job number 1. So this is gonna be fun. Gluing up these frickin' tanks and shit. All right, but you know, it's part of the process. It's part of the process, right? It is part of the process, right? It is, I think. Maybe. Julie says, I like the look of the added tanks. What about close together at the connection area, but spreading apart as they come away from the booster, like in a V? See, I don't know if we're going to have enough room, really, for that. Simply because there's just not a ton of real estate back here. You know, so if we spread them out like this, yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the idea of kind of keeping this fairly, you know, straight, but I like this, the staggered look of the tanks. I really, really like that. That I think is a good thing. And this will act as almost like, you know, kind of a protection type of barrier for those tanks. So I like that idea. I do very much like that idea. All right, so let's get these glued up. First things first, we got to get through this because this is gonna take a few minutes here to get this shit done. God, I hate this part. Because this shit cures super quick. capillary action going on there. Nothing wrong with that. And it's funny, it just bloop, disappears when it gets sucked in there. There we go. All right, 1 down, 3 to go. Let's do it. All right. First things first. Let's get some of these guys right here. There we go. Kind of a holder, basically, for these. And also, obviously, it acts as a bit of a clamp, too. So, nothing wrong with that. Put that off to the side. That way, it's not rolling around everywhere. Just making a mess, causing havoc, wreaking havoc. Don't need that. Don't need that in my life. All right. There we go. Very good. All right, so there's 2. I'm running out of real estate up here on the backdrop. I put parts up on the backdrop here that I'm basically kind of done with, like the guns up here and some of the other pieces that we've done. And yeah, we're kind of running out of real estate up there. Running out of a bit of real estate. Okay. The whole capillary action thing is just always kind of cool to me. Just seeing the glue itself kind of run all the way up and down. I don't know. It's just kind of interesting. A little science, a little sciencey. You know what I mean? A little sciencey. There we are. Last one here. Let's go. Let's go. There we are. Very good, very good, very good. All right, cool. So, we got all 4 of these done. Finally. All right, good. Set those off to the backdrop. Those can cure. I think this is a good route. So, Julius, kudos, buddy. Kudos. Really good idea. Really, really good idea. I was originally just going to put some thrusters, like vents or something like that in there, but I think this is a better idea, if I'm being honest. But let's see. Andrew says, I was going to say like a peacock's tail. Bill says, so even wider a separation than my suggestion? My fear would be if it's too wide, then it runs into the body of the Shiki. Might be cool, though. Wait! Tim is gluing on a night stream? Yeah, right. Go figure. Tim is going to put stoplights on the ends to go with the race car theme. Brake lights even. There we go. Yeah, for real, right? Excuse me. Andrew says, how about some nav markers, Bill? Turn signals, right? Put a whole exhaust on this bitch, right? And like, wong, wong. Where's Gary? Gary's WRX is all souped up and it's awesome looking. Excuse me. Let's see. Andrew says the red and the green markers they use for port and starboard. There you go. Ship markers rather than race car. I have a good idea once in a while. Yeah, that you do. That you do, Julius. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. All right. So, with that being said, now let's get back to this piece here. Let's get this separated. Now, the big question. Big question is, how do we go about addressing this? Do we want to keep this? I think I do want to keep this. If worst comes to worst, I can grind this off and replace it. It's not a big deal, but this will be handy to at least fill that you know, that empty section here, you know what I mean? I don't want to break out the epoxy putty just for that, so honestly I'm thinking just put it right in there and just call it a fucking day, you know what I mean? So I think that's what we're gonna do. So actually, yeah, we're gonna do more gluing. Mind's blown. I know. Mind's blown. I can hear people's heads exploding all over the world right now. Just like, what? Ooh, that's too much. Get that section glued down there. Alright, so little capillary action right in there. That's looking good. That's looking good. That's all looking good. Alright, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And then I don't want to touch this with my hands because I'm going to get fingerprints. So we're just going to do this type of thing right here. And if worse comes to worse, if there's any other gaps, obviously we can fill it with super glue or, you know, something along those lines. Something that's, you know, a little bit easier to work with and all. All right. That looks good. All right, I put the clamps away way too quickly, I feel. And when I say clamps, all I'm using are these little binder clips. These come in super useful for, you know, clamping little parts like this, because they apply a shit ton of pressure, right? As you can see by the squeeze out that just happened once I put this thing on. And actually, I think what we'll do, maybe we'll put 2 on each of these, just to really get it clamped in, right? Yeah, there we go. And they also act as kind of a stand, so it's not sitting on, you know, a surface or anything too. So very, very useful for all of that, right? Very useful. All right, so while we're at it, might as well go ahead and get this other one glued up here too. Yeah, there we go. This guy right here. A little tougher to take apart. There we go. All right. Ah, that's why. That's why. We got a nub. Like I said, this was a donated kit several years ago. And yeah, I mean, there's nubs and stuff like that on it. So the guy that gave it to me, our friend James Turner, he goes by Spider 2K2. Some of you may know him, but he sent me this, and he basically just said, "Yeah, I'm never gonna get around to building it. Thought you'd, you know, find it useful." I was just like, "Oh shit, hell yeah, I'll find something to do with it," and I finally did. I'm making a kick-ass Shiki with it. That top section squeezed down first, and then There we go. All right, perfect. Press this into place. All right, good, good, good. All right. So these will be good for hopefully tomorrow's daytime stream. And we can get these glued in place. Yeah. Perfect. All right. Good deal. Yeah. Not a lot of real estate back there. All right. So now we're left with this guy, right? So like I said, first things first, let's get the nubs cleaned off of this so this goes a little easier here for us. Good stuff there. All right. So now what we can do is pop this into place. Now, what I want to do is see exactly kind of where I want this placement. Do I want this below that fold or above? I think I want it above. Okay. So for that, all right, let's go ahead and take care of the fill elements here first, okay? So we need about a 1 millimeter, let's see, what do we need down here? Probably about a 2 millimeter spacing block right here so that this thing doesn't press down any more than that when we're, gluing it, right? So I want to put in a nice kind of thick, just a little block of plastic, basically, nothing crazy. This might be too big. Yeah, that's way too big. Let's see what we've got here in the little plastic bin. Oh crap. Is that the same thickness? No, it's not. Okay, cool. All right, well, let's see what this looks like then. Yeah, I think that'll work. All right, cool. So we need just a bit of this to plate in there. Now, let me try one other thing. Let me see something here. That actually may be better. It's slightly thinner. This is maybe about 1.5 millimeters thick rather than like a full on like 2 millimeter thick. Is this the same thick? It is. All right, cool. So I have just this little strip here that'll come in very, very handy. So we'll just use that instead. Yeah, that'll work. Save your bigger plastic bits, because you never know when you're going to need something like this, And this just became instantly handy for us here. So always save your cut off plastic bits. You just never know. Never know. All right. Ooh, and that's actually the perfect width too. Sweet. kick ass. Okay, so we just need a small bit, just like this, right in there, right up against the front edge, just as a spacer block. Nothing crazy, right? Nothing crazy. Let's I'm gonna quickly sand this down so there's no high points on it. Where'd my little file go? Very good. All right, perfect. So this will go right in here. Yeah, perfect. Okie dokie. So for that, I'm just gonna put a little drop of super glue right there. Just a little dabble do ya. Perfect. Okie dokie. So, what I'm saying, what I mean, see how that acts as a spacer block so it doesn't go down anymore. So it basically, that's kind of the silhouette that I wanted for this upper block area, right? So that, yeah, that's looking really good. That's what I want. That's what I want right there. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okie dokie. So now we can move on to filling in these gaps. Now this right here is about 3/4 millimeter. Yeah, it's about 3/4 millimeter. And that upper gap looks to be about a full 1 millimeter. And it is perfect. Okie dokie. So we've got our 3/4 millimeter and our full 1 millimeter thickness here. So we'll just super glue the front and the back on here. Let's make sure this is capped and off to the side. And get a nice big old drop of super glue there. Nice. Let's speed this process up. Little kicker. Boom, right there. Very nice, very nice. And then we're going to do the same thing to the upper part here. With the 1 millimeter. All right. All right. And again, we're going to kick it. Boom. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. All right. There is our, basically our filled in piece, right? Which is going to look really good. So let's get caught up with the chat, because obviously there's been some Let's see. Enrico says, we need the spool. All right, I'll stop. Good call. Good call, Enrico. Bill says, oh God, the world is coming to an end. Wait, has hell frozen over? Andrew says, why not scribe vents or thrusters into those boxes at the end off the piece that you're currently gluing? We'll get to that in a minute. Because I want to fill in the gaps first, so this becomes one cohesive piece. So we'll get to that momentarily. We will get to that momentarily. Let's see. Andrew says maybe where Tim is, Bill, it's boiling over here. Is it? Bill says, yes, that one woman said to me back in my younger days, more clamps will make everything better. Though, that's a different context, Jesus. Apex nerd, what's going on, bud? He says, morning all. How you feeling, man? Good to see you, bud. Good to see you. Mikey Dawson says, I'm back after dropping off my Jeep at the dealership and home from work. Very nice. Very nice, very nice. Andrew says, don't glue those small panels in place, Tim. Use them as covers for afterburners. What? Nah. I like what we doing. I like what we doing. Almanacs, Mr. Pete. What's going on, bud? He says, what's up, model citizens? What's going on, Petey? Andrew says, no. Burke says, made it for the last 15 minutes. Woo. Oh my God, it's 11:46? What the hell? Where did the night go? We might go long. Just because I want to get some shit done, you know what I mean? So we might go long. Cap that glue, yes. Good call. There we go. Andrew says, not that piece that you added the parts to, Tim. The one you used plastic magic on. This one is what you're talking about, right? Or this one. I don't know. Either way, I like what we're doing. I like what we're doing. Let's see. Kelvin says, just posted pics on the community page. Yes, the Sniper 2 feet long story. We'll have to find parts or make mods. Oh boy. Sniper 2 got his feet just hemmed off, just like right off. Oh man. Dallas says it's not 84 degrees right now here in Utah. Oh man, what's it outside right now here in Maryland? It is 70 degrees right now. 70 balmy degrees. So it's actually kind of nice. I might actually open my windows tonight. What's the low temp? Oh, low temperature 62 tonight. That'll be nice. Yeah, that's good sleeping weather right there. Cap discipline, there you go. Enrico says, man, time's flown by. Yeah, it has. Andrew says, that one. The one currently in the clips. Oh, yeah, I mean, that's all. That's one solid piece now. It ain't coming apart. Enrico says, I thought it was barely past midnight for me, but it's almost 1 a.m. already. I know, right? What the hell? Time has flown by tonight. Flown by. And like I said, we might go a little late. I just want to get some shit done. You know what I mean? I want to get some shit done. So, all right, let's get this piece trimmed up here now that it's glued, cured, all that good stuff. We're going to need to do a little filler on the side there, but we'll get to that here later. I want to get this fitted first.
there's a bit of round over to these parts, which I'm not exactly enthused about. And I find that on a lot of the high grades that I've ever worked with. I don't know, man. It just seems like the fit and finish of the molds from Bandai on the high grades are not as good quality as maybe on some master grades. You know, and I may be wrong. It may just be me. But that's just kind of what I notice, you know. Okay. So very nice, very nice. Man, there's something so satisfying when you sand file a piece and it just flows and your nail doesn't catch or anything, and it's just one solid piece now and it's just perfect. I don't know, it's just super satisfying to me. I do love it. I do love it. Okay. All right. So before we do this, one thing I want to see is the shape of this. All right. So yeah, good thing I checked, because there are curves around the front part of the opening and on this corner, but this corner is squared off. So that's interesting. All right. Let's see what we got. This will be probably a fairly tight fit. If it wants to go in at all. Okay, so take the corner off this back section, because I think this is what's obstructing us right now. Okay, let's try that. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we are. That is, it's super tight. It's super, super tight fit. And we need to do a little shaping on the corners to make it fit properly, but it's gonna fit. It's gonna fit. That's the most important thing. Yeah. It's flexing a little bit right up at the top there. Okay. Yeah, a little finessing on this piece and we'll be in good shape. A little finessing and we'll be in good shape. So first things first, I want to go back and fill in those gaps on the sides here first to get those, you know, nice and flush with, you know, the surface and everything. Now, we're going to use the palette and we're going to use a little needle applicator for this. I'm just going to fill in those sides. Do the same thing up here. And when this is cured, you know, we'll trim back whatever we need to trim back, but I just want to get these gaps, any of these little gaps filled as much as possible here. All right, so I'm not going to kick this. Mainly because I don't want the glue to migrate, and that's a thing that happens when you apply kicker to like a large area of glue. What happens, I find, is that the glue tends to move away from you know, the area that you're trying to apply it to. So it's one of those things. But anyway, let's get caught up, yeah? Apex Nerd, time flies when you're older. Slows to a crawl when you're a kid, right? Andrew says it's currently 73 degrees outside, but 82 degrees in my bedroom. Balls. No thank you. Enrico, 44 degree Fahrenheit over here. Damn. Loving this winter we've had so far. Cold and not too rainy. 44 degrees? That's cold? Holy shit. You're, oh, buddy. Now, mind you, I know you guys are closer to the equator than we are, but still, geez, dude, 44 degrees is a nice fall day for us. You get into the dog days of like January, February, when it's like in the teens for your high and your single digit for your lows. Whoo, buddy. Whoo, buddy. That's cold. Dallas says it'll be 70 at 5 a.m., then go right back to around 103. Dry heat. Gotta love the desert. Oh, hell yeah. I would much rather have the dry heat than the frickin' humidity. Any day of the week. Yeah, Dallas says, Enrico, where are you at? Can I move there? Random G719K. They say, hey man, how's it going? Welcome. It's going good. Time is flying by tonight. It's already midnight and it feels like it's only been 20 minutes. That's crazy. So yeah, if that's any indication.
Enrico, he says, yeah, I'm in Uruguay. Uruguay life, right? Yeah, not that cold today. There you go. Mikey Dawson says, that's a nice spring day here in Indiana, right? Dallas says, damn, that's cool. Enrico, the coldest we've had so far this winter in my town is like 25 Fahrenheit-ish. Yeah. So that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Yeah, it gets cold here in Maryland, but it also gets really fucking hot too. We're like right on the, middle East Coast, mid-Atlantic of the U.S. And yeah, we're lucky enough to have all 4 seasons in their most beautiful and hellish ways. Like in the winter, it gets super freaking cold. We'll get snow, sometimes heavy snow, but then in the summer, it gets really hot. 90s, 100 degrees, not uncalled for, 100% humidity. Ugh, terrible. But then the fall and the spring are just gorgeous. My favorite times of year. But yeah, luckily enough to have all 4 seasons and everything. So it's home. Can't wait to get the fuck out of here though. I'll be honest with you. I was talking to Renee yesterday, and I was just telling her, I was just like, I can't wait to get moved down there and everything, and yeah, just can't wait to start our lives together and everything. Can't wait to get the hell out of here. So it'll be nice. But Amber has about 6 weeks until she goes off to college. 6 weeks until I'm an empty nester. My God, where's the time gone? That's insane to me, you guys. Absolutely insane to me. So, yeah, it's crazy to think about. So, yeah. Anyway, all right, so let's see. Do we want to continue, or do we want to punch the clock and call it a night? Decisions. Let's see what we've got here. All right, so once this is glued up, this seam here will disappear because this will be panel lined and everything, so that's fine. And then this seam will disappear because we'll, sand it down, fill it, everything. That'll all become one solid piece there and everything. So then from there, then we've got this, kind of mechanical insert here. Which I kind of like, actually. Why is it not going in there? Oh, because it's the wrong side. That's why. Yeah, I do kind of like that mechanical insert there. It's kind of nice. And what I was actually thinking of filling in this gap area here, but now I'm just like, I don't think I want to fill it in. What I'll end up doing is, obviously painting all this and everything. And all of this inside area here will be painted and all that. So I think that'll look fine. It'll just look like it, exposed mechanical bits. You know what I mean? So I think I'll be fine with that. Now, obviously, we're going to have to come up with some sort of panel design here, maybe some, some plating, stuff like that. But, again, we'll kind of, jump that hurdle when we get there. The big thing right now are these pieces getting glued up, and those should be ready for tomorrow's daytime stream. So I think we should be okay to call it a night at this point. So I think that's kind of a natural roadblock at this juncture. So let's go back to camera 1. Let's get caught up in the chat one last time here, and then, yeah, I think we're going to punch the clock for tonight. Mikey says, I got to get to bed. Good night, everyone. Mikey, take care, buddy. Gio says, you're talking about hot weather in the East Coast. That doesn't compute with us here in the West. We only associate East Coast with frozen all the time. Well, it can be. Yeah, no, it can be. But, man, summertime here, Gio, buddy, I wish we had California weather over here, man. The low humidity, all sunshine, all that. Man, it's just like walking out into soup. It's just disgusting. It's not great. It's not great. Julius says, thanks, Tim. Great stream. Thank you, Julius. You know, and thank you for the idea of the fuel tanks, though, too. That was a really, really good idea, and I kind of like that direction and everything. And Julius was the first person to double order on the Chado Mecha store, you guys. So I was able to make him a custom hat. So hopefully that comes out really good. So fingers crossed, you know, fingers crossed. So we will see. We will see. But speaking of the Chado Mecha store, you guys, it is open. Go buy some stuff. Help me out. Support your boy. Aside from that, make sure you go buy some. Yes, sir. Yeah. So I think that's where we're gonna punch our ticket for tonight. So you guys, we'll be back here tomorrow at noon Eastern. Come on back. We'll jump back on the backpack booster bits here and everything like that, and hopefully start to incorporate some of these pieces that we've glued up and get these going here and everything. So with that being said, you guys, have a wonderful rest of your night. Be safe out there. Stay cool. And go build something cool if you've got the time for tonight. Aside from that, I will see you guys. Uh-oh. Look at this. Look at this. Brian, I missed the whole stream. LOL, night everyone. Brian, you're killing me, buddy. Buenos noches, everybody. See you tomorrow. All right, you guys. Stay tuned for the end credits. I will see you guys tomorrow during the day. Take care. Bye.